Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Vedic astrology coach, Rahu Ketu, and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. In my channel, I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits. In the recent times, I have also started an exclusive channel in Hindi. You'll find the link in the comment section to my new channel. And in case you're interested in watching videos in Hindi, you can subscribe to that channel. In case you're new here, you're more than welcome to subscribe and keep yourself updated with all the amazing astrological content that I bring to you and explain things in the most simplified manner and focus a lot on predictive astrology. Today's topic is about Rahu and Ketu and how their continued transit in the sign of Aquarius and Leo is going to have an impact on all of us in the year 2026. This video is one of my unique representations wherein I'm going to give you in-depth analysis. Rahu and Ketu are integral parts of the moon. Rahu is the north node, Ketu is the south node. These are mathematical points. We call them Chaya Grahas. These are shadowy planets, so they do not have a physical presence. Unlike other planets, they are not visible in the night sky. However, they play a very vital, important role in astrological calculations in terms of cyclical energies. Major shifts happen when nodes make a transit. They move from one sign to the other in 18 months and they take about 18 years to cover the entire zodiac belt. Rahu and Ketu are always retrograde. So these are unique characteristics about these Chaya Grahas or shadowy planets because they're always moving backwards. So currently they are moving through the sign of Aquarius and Leo. Thereafter, towards the end of 2026, on 5th of December 2026, they're going to be moving in Capricorn and Cancer. And of course, whenever they make a transit, there are cyclical energies and of course events get triggered. These are Chaya Grahas. These are illusions. The energies are very opposite to each other. Rahu is the head, Ketu is the torso or the body. They are inseparable. They go hand in hand. They are always 180 degrees apart from each other. They're also very controversial planets. And I have always seen, whenever we talk about Rahu, Ketu, it encourages debate. People have very different opinions in terms of their lordship, in terms of their rulership, in terms of what sign they get exalted, what sign they get debilitated, and these are just never-ending conversations. As long as Rahu and Ketu are in existence, there will be controversies, there will be debates. As long as these debates are healthy, it is good. Therefore, I am taking a conscious step of not getting into their lordships and co-lordships, exaltation, debilitation, but purely focus on the axis where they are placed. Their nakshatra based transit in the year 2026, and what is that we can expect. Their transit has to be read together. It is important that we read their transits together. Yes, it could be read separately as well, but at the same time, when they move through a particular sign or when they are placed in a particular sign in your natal chart, they act as the dispositor of that sign, which means when Rahu is moving through the sign of Aquarius, it will act as if it is Saturn, because Saturn is the primary ruler of the sign of Aquarius. Rahu also co-rules the sign of Aquarius. Ketu, moving through the sign of Leo, acts as if it is Sun or Surya. So therefore, depending on their placements in your natal chart, you can further assess and understand the dispositor or the sign lord. Sign lord also becomes one of the karaka or significator. It has the capacity to bring this planet out of any trouble, any weaknesses, and give you good results. So a lot of times for certain planets, we must look at remedying the dispositor or the sign lord where this planet is placed. Rahu is all about illusion. It is Maya. It is expansion. He has a lot of hunger. He has all the kinds of weaknesses, shadripus of your mind, and it rules our subconscious mind. Ketu is the significator of detachment. He is the moksha karak. He is a very non-materialistic Chaya Graha. Rahu is extremely material. Ketu does not have desire. It is the body. It has no vision. Therefore, it has no aspect. Some school of thoughts also believe that Ketu also has an aspect, but I come from a school of thought which strongly believes that Ketu has no desire, therefore it cannot have an aspect. Therefore, these energies are very opposite to each other. Now, there will be a particular time in 2026 when the lunar nodes will be extremely positive, extremely powerful, extremely full of direction. Whether you make the most of this time period or not, that really depends on your ongoing dasha, antardasha, the kind of time period that you're running, the yogas that you have. So let me give you some insight into their nakshatra based transit and the important dates. Rahu will move into Shatabisha Nakshatra on 23rd of November, which is its own nakshatra. I made a very detailed video on this nakshatra based transit and how to read. And it is going to be extremely powerful till 2nd of August 2026, where it is moving through its own nakshatra. On 2nd of August, it will move through Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is ruled by Mars or Mangal. So throughout the transit of Rahu till December 5th, 2026, wherever the sign of Taurus and Capricorn falls in your chart is likely to deliver very positive results. Also the sign of Gemini, because these are the signs where Rahu gets exalted and Mars also gets exalted. Rahu is the ruler of Shatabisha, Mars is the ruler of Dhanishta. Ketu is already moving in Purva Falguni Nakshatra, which is ruled by Venus, and this movement is going to continue till 28th of March 2026. Thereafter, on 29th of March 2026, Ketu is going to move in Magha Nakshatra, which is its own nakshatra, and this transit is going to continue till 5th of December 2026. Therefore, the most important dates between 29th of March till 2nd of August is that time period where the nodes will be making a transit in their own nakshatras. So this gives us further mental strength, and of course they will be in a very powerful and high capacity to deliver extreme results. From a cyclical energy point of view, Rahu is putting a greater focus on the 8th cycle, which is about transformation, life and death, inheritance, our weaknesses, our debts, and how we counter adversities in life, how we support our lifestyle, and how we come out of troubled times and circumstances go adverse, and how we rise through these adverse circumstances. Ketu, on the other hand, is putting a greater focus on the 4th cycle, which is about home, comforts, our assets, mother or the motherland or the homeland, our possessions in terms of properties, in terms of real estate, in terms of our ownership and our comfort space. So these two cyclical energies are also very much opposite in nature. As much as we need to focus a lot on our home life in terms of our assets and their protection, at the same time we also must focus on overcoming adversities in life and for our own transformation. Mid of 2026 will see a record-breaking increase in real estate prices. That is something which I can comfortably predict in most of the regions across the world. Now let's try and understand how Rahu and Ketu's transit, their axis in the year 2026 is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, because yogas are primarily seen from the ascendant, you must read from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. Rahu and Ketu, the north and south nodes of the moon, the Chaya Grahas, the shadowy planets, the one that carry illusion as well as confusion, are making through a transit in your 11th house and the 5th house. This is the sign of Aquarius and Leo. They are particularly considered strong in these signs. Now, what is the year 2026 bringing for you in terms of their axis, in terms of reading this particular transit? They're going to be also moving through their own nakshatra for a brief period between end of March till early August, where Rahu is in Shatabisha, Ketu will be in Magha Nakshatra. So in the year 2026, the first half is dominated by Rahu, the second half is dominated by Ketu. So they are putting a greater focus on your 11 and 5 cycle or the axis. 1/3 of the transit is already over. We are left with 3 by 4th of the transit, we are left with about 75% of this transit of Rahu and Ketu, because they're going to only change signs in the end of 2026. So now they've gotten a bit comfortable in these signs. What does the 11-5 axis represent for you? 11th house is the house of your illusion. It is the house of Maya. It is also the house of growth. It is the Upachaya Bhava. It is the house of your friends, your wider social networks, and also bigger enemies in life. Rahu does very well in this house because this is the Upachaya Bhava. Rahu excels in the 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house, and the 11th house. 11th house is also the house of free will, one of the highest bhavas that represents your independent thinking, that represents free will. And Rahu is all about free will because he does not like to listen to someone. He likes to make decisions on his own. Whether the decisions are right or wrong, that is secondary. But this is the kind of direction that Rahu likes to live. This house represents material gains, your comforts in life, and also your income. This is the Labh Bhav. Rahu is very hungry. He wants to consume and eat up into everything. So this could bring in some element of financial prosperity for you in case you have a well-disposed Saturn in your chart, in case you're running through a favorable period as well as a sub-period. So the first half of the year 2026 till about 2nd of August, Rahu is making a transit in its own nakshatra of Shatabisha. It is extremely strong. This nakshatra has healing capabilities because it has the power of 100 lights. So there is a lot of brightness that is there in the 11th house in the first half of the year. You will be very diligently focused on building your network, collaborating with other people, expanding your social media and also the professional media networks. I will highly encourage you to focus a lot on personal as well as professional branding. And thereafter, your transformation as well, because Rahu is putting a greater focus on the 8th cycle that represents transformation, that represents life and death. You could probably look at fixing your work routine. You definitely have some karmas in the first half to face strong opposition, and this is where you'll probably come out with flying colors. Ketu's transit on the second hand is perhaps going through your 5th house. Now, 5th house represents your future, creativity. It is the house of your children. Ketu creates separative tendencies. Ketu creates isolation. So it will bring in isolation with regards to futuristic approach, with regards to future thinking, particularly in the first half of the year. So you would be a little bit in a mix or a confused state, whether you should focus on material comforts, material gains, or you should perhaps be a bit futuristic. I would say that you focus more on the current time, your present time, and not be very much bothered about future. Now, mantra-based remedies could be a bit challenging for you in 2026, whether that will work for you or not, because Ketu is creating a certain sense of isolation here. But it wants you to focus a lot on home life, your comforts. Ketu is always retrograde, so it is putting a greater focus on the sign of Cancer as well, while it is continuing to make the retrograde transit, particularly in the second half of the year. Post end of March, Ketu will be moving through its own nakshatra, very comfortable and a very powerful position for Ketu. You could expect positional rise, you could expect positional success. Magha nakshatra represents throne. 5th house is about power, it is about authority. Ketu also has the capacity to bring power, to bring authority. But at the same time, you have to keep your ego aside. First half, of course, you could expect positive results with regards to friends, your wider social network. Second half is a time period wherein you could really expect some sort of positional growth, positional success in your life. But as long as you keep your ego aside, continue to strengthen Jupiter, that's your 9th lord, second half should be extremely favorable for you, and my best wishes. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. Rahu and Ketu, the north and the south node of the moon, the Chaya Grahas, the shadowy planets, and their cyclical activation progress in the year 2026. What are they bringing for you in terms of expecting key life events that could trigger and big shifts that they can bring in your life? These are very opposite energies. In the beginning, I have given you tons of information and explanation. This year particularly, they will be in great dignity because Rahu in the first half will be moving through its own nakshatra of Shatabisha. End of March, Ketu will enter Magha nakshatra, which is its own nakshatra that represents throne, that represents positional success. Now this is happening between your 10 and the 4 axis. 10 and 4 axis, the 10th house and the 4th house, that represents your work and home. These are opposite houses. Now these are the two houses where you spend maximum amount of time during the day, and of course your 24 hours, half of the time you spend at work, half of the time you spend at home. This is, the usual trend. Of course you would step out as well, but this is where we spend most of our energies during the day, particularly when it's working day. This is where your Rahu energies will be absolutely active, and when you're at home, Ketu energies will be absolutely very, very active. Now, from a remedial point of view for Taurus ascendant, what I can recommend in 2026 is some sort of evening meditation. Meditation, sadhana post sunset is going to be extremely beneficial for you, because this is how you will be able to channelize Ketu energies in your chart. 10th house represents your Karya Bhava. It is your profession, your actions, your duties, what you do to survive and sustain yourself in the world. It is also the Upachaya Bhava, or the house of growth. Rahu loves growth. He has all the hunger in terms of making things in his favor and create expansion with regards to workplace matters. So this year, you could expect expansive tendencies with regards to work-related matters. But you will also be in an uncomfortable position, because you will get new projects, you will face new assignments, you will face newer, bigger, greater challenges in your life, and you can also face some issues with regards to authoritative people at work. But as long as you're running a favorable time period till 2nd of August, this is your time to shine at work. The first half of the year is definitely creative, expansive tendencies. You must continue to remedy Saturn, who is the Yoga Karaka Graha for you, the 9th and the 10th Lord, and at the same time to help channel this Rahu in the most positive as well as appropriate direction. So it is creating expansive tendencies at work. At the same time, you must be very diligently focused towards your health and well-being, because this could bring your health down. Your stress levels are going to increase. You're going to be very much focused around work. Now, one of the simple tip for you is have an independent thinking, independent approach at workplace. Keep your ideas to yourself till you're very sure whether they're good to be executed, whether there are not many other people who would probably take your ideas, steal your ideas, because you could be susceptible towards lies, towards breaking of trust, towards deceit at workplace, towards some sort of political environment at workplace, which you have to stay away from for your own well-being. Ketu is going to be making a transit in your 4th house. It continues to do. And as and when time progresses, they're getting comfortable in their positions. 75% of the transit is still remaining. Till 28th of March, Ketu is making a transit in Purva Falguni Nakshatra. During this time, you can expect very promising results of the 11th house, because Venus rules this nakshatra, who is your Lagna Lord. And if you have a well-disposed Venus, if you remedy Venus in your chart, you could expect a rise in your income. You could expect some gains from your assets. Though Ketu, other people would say it creates separative tendency, it creates isolation. But here it is likely to give you some gains that are associated to your assets. Of course, it will push you out of your comfort zone, and that is why I encourage you, because you're going to have a high stressful day. This time period calls for evening meditation, evening sadhana to channel these energies. Ketu in your case will be sitting through Magha Nakshatra. That's the next transit between 29th of March till the end of the year, which is its own nakshatra. So this is where it is going to put a lot of focus in terms of home related matters, in terms of your comfort. It could now create isolated tendencies for you with regards to maybe going on solo journeys, solo travel, and increasing the sense of mindfulness in your life, as long as you be consistent in anything that you do. Though in the second half of the year, I would urge you to also continue your morning sadhana, morning routine. This is to strengthen Surya, offer water to the sun first thing in the day to channel these energies, and may you have a fruitful and rewarding year ahead. Gemini ascendant signs, or the Gemini moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit through Aquarius and Leo, and what is that we can expect in the year 2026. These are cyclical energies, they trigger life events, and of course bring big shifts in life. 25% of transit would be over by the end of 2025. 75% of their transit is still remaining because they will only change signs towards the end of the year 2026. This is happening in your 9 and 3 axis. 9 and 3 axis is the axis of journeys. It is the axis that represents start of a new work, new line of work, new project, new assignment. It triggers change because journey doesn't necessarily mean that you will travel, you will go on a vacation, you will travel for work. It could also mean that you step into a new phase, a new journey of your life. It could be related to getting married. It could be related to starting a family or extending or expanding your family. It could be related to starting a new job, a new line of work, shift of your residence, shift of your base, moving countries. So you could expect a number of such events that could happen in your life in the year 2026, which would predominantly be dependent on your ongoing dasha antardasha. Change is inevitable and change is the only thing which is constant for you. Last few months, you could have experienced a shift of place, a change of place, or probably a movement. If not, things could relatively become favorable for you. Rahu entrines in the 9th house, which represents your dharma, your bhagya, fortune, long journeys, higher education. Rahu is said to be Maran Karak in the 9th house, which is a death-like position. So, this is good as well as bad. Good in the sense that it will minimize all the ill effects of Rahu, which is controlling your Shadripus or the enemies of the mind, avoiding any shortcuts, avoiding any unethical means of doing things. But at the same time, it is also going to obstruct your dharma. It is going to obstruct your religion. As long as you stick to the path of righteousness, as long as you be very diligent about your spiritual practice, your dharma, your religion, whatever religion you believe in, this is going to be good for you. Otherwise, it could be detrimental towards your well-being. Rahu is not welcomed in the trinal house. However, it could become a Raj Yoga giver if it makes a connection with Saturn, if Saturn is placed in quadrant houses, if it is an exaltation, this Rahu becomes Yoga Karak or Raj Yoga giver in this situation. Otherwise, the planet that you must remedy for good results is Mercury. Do Buddha related remedy. So that could be via gemstone, that could be via mantras, Bij mantras of Buddha, by worshipping Lord Vishnu, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That is the magic mantra for you. Ketu is moving through the sign of Leo in your 3rd house. 3rd house represents change. It represents your younger siblings, the co-borns. This is the house of journeys. This is also the house where we see your assets that you might have in other countries outside of your place of birth, because 12th house is foreign land. This is 4th from the 12th house, right? And this plays a very important role. 3rd house is also the fortune in your marriage, in your relationship, because this is the 9th from the 7th house. And this is also the dharma of your agreements, of your contracts. Ketu will create some unnecessary paperwork. You will sign agreements, you will sign contracts, you will build new partnerships, you will build new associations, you will build new connections. However, this time period, you might also have the urge to travel solo, be solo, start an independent work, solopreneurship or entrepreneurship, wherein you're trying to work independently, and at the same time, you might create some partnerships. I would not say that this will be partnership business, but this could be agreements. This could be certain terms or collaborations rather you might get associated with other people. There is definitely some karma. If you have younger siblings, it could create some difference or separative tendencies. This time period could also make you go on journeys or shift your base outside of your home country. Particularly between end of March till early August, it's an extremely favorable time in 2026 because both of them will be moving through their own nakshatras, very heavily activating this cycle. This could also result in positional growth, positional success in the second half of the year because Ketu is moving through Magha Nakshatra, which could create some expansive tendencies. Now, your desires will be very limited, your desires will be very much on a lower side, and that is something which you need to channel. So, be aggressive in your thinking, not in terms of your speech or your actions, but in terms of the way of life, in terms of taking care of your own task, taking care of your own situation and taking things in your own hands. This is the message I bring to you, and may you have a rewarding 2026. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in the sign of Aquarius and Leo in the year 2026, and what is it bringing for us, what we can expect. These are shadowy planets, Chaya Grahas, who trigger life events and of course have the capacity to bring big shifts in our life in terms of endings and beginnings, in terms of starting new cycles, starting new events, and of course stepping into a totally new phase, a very differentiated phase of life. This axis is happening, or the transit rather, is happening in your 8 and 2 axis. Your 8th house is the house of transformation, sudden events. It brings suddenness in life. It brings shifts. It talks about places that are far off across the sea. It is that house which is the weak spot that represents adversities in your life and how you counter those adversities. We call it Nija Dosha. And this house also plays a very vital role in your lifestyle, because your health and vitality will only be supported if you have a good lifestyle. If you take control of things, your actions and what you do, and if you stay away from any bad habits or any kind of indulgence, of course your health and vitality is going to be protected. Ketu, on the other hand, is making a transit in the second house. So they're always opposite to each other. Second house is the Dhan Bhav. Ketu is Moksha Karak. So this is not the most comfortable position for Ketu. This house represents your family, your speech, Dhan Kutumba Vani. This house represents your possessions. It represents your storage space, those things that you'd like to possess, that you'd like to store, those people who you'd like to protect. And of course, protection starts with your own people, that is your family. Ketu is very non-materialistic. It has nothing much to do with family members, family matters, ghar grihasti, and of course it has nothing to do with finances because it does not have so much of desire. But Ketu is in a Dhan Yoga in this transit, and Ketu also gives massive wealth. It is not that there are only specific planets who have the capacity to give enormous amount of wealth. Even the lunar nodes, Rahu as well as Ketu, have the capacity to give wealth. Every planet has the capacity to give wealth, condition they should be in Dhan Yoga. So they'll be moving through different nakshatras. Initially, Ketu is in Purva Falguni, which is Venus's nakshatra. During this time, you can expect very favorable results with regards to your 9th house matters. Your bhagya is going to elevate. Till end of March, it is mostly positive. It is supporting your fortune. It is helping you with some financial gains, with some financial rise, with the flow of income. Post that, Ketu will step into Magha Nakshatra, which is a very powerful position for Ketu. And it is in even more powerful Dhan Yoga during this time. You could expect some gains out of inheritance, out of your possessions, or gains of your family members. But you could have some conflict. Take care of your speech. Watch what you say, because once you call out the words, you could be very reactive, you could be aggressive. Ketu is Agni. Make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. Make sure that you have a morning ritual, you have a morning routine. This is how you strengthen Surya in your chart. If you rise early and have some sort of morning discipline, you'll be able to channel Ketu's energies appropriately. Rahu is making a transit in the 8th house. Rahu is also activating the 8th cycle, which is a cycle of transformation, life and death, inheritance. So you'll deal with inheritance related matters with regards to your family, paperwork, and this could cause you some unnecessary stress, some unnecessary delay as well. But for transformation pursuits, 2026 is supportive. This transformation will be tough. It will not come easy on you if your time periods are dominated by Rahu, Saturn, and of course, some of these grahas. You could expect significant challenges with regards to consistency in your lifestyle. So as long as you're able to manage that, as long as you counter your adversities, as long as you take control of your lifestyle, you avoid shortcuts, you stay away from indulgence, you stay away from extravagance, you stay away from any unethical ways of earning an income or increasing your wealth, you're good. Otherwise, it will be very detrimental for you. You have to take care of your health and well-being, particularly the first half of the year where Rahu is extremely strong, extremely powerful. You have to take care of your health. Ketu's message is that as long as you control your food, as long as you control your desires towards indulgence, bring in a significant shift in what you eat, what you consume, your health is going to be protected. Otherwise, you could have stomach issues, you could have issues with your teeth. So please take care of your teeth in 2026. There could be some repercussions, or you could have frequent visits to the dentist, and this is where you must look at increasing your spiritual sadhana and mantra sadhana. Continue to strengthen Jupiter in your chart. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in 2026, moving through Aquarius and Leo, 75% of this transit is remaining. In the beginning of the video, I've given you very interesting insights with regards to lunar nodes, what you could expect, their nakshatra-based transit, moving through signs. And of course, this plays a very important role because now Rahu and Ketu will gradually start feeling more settled in these signs. They take long time. They take about 18 months from moving to one sign to the other, always retrograde. Rahu is in Aquarius, very strong. Ketu is in Leo, again in a strong or a dominant position here. During the time period end of March till early August 2026, they will be moving through their own nakshatras at the same time, which is a very important phase because they will be extremely powerful, extremely impactful. And at this time period, you will take some major decisions that are related to yourself and your relationship, or your business, or some sort of agreements and contracts that you will enter into. Some very important business decisions you're likely to take between March through August. Now, Rahu is making a transit in the 7th house. 7th house is called Jaya Bhav. This is the house of following. Those people who you follow or the people who follow you. Rahu is Digbali. He gains directional strength in the 7th house. Therefore, we would say that there are blessings of Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu, during this time. And for any Rahu related effects, or probably to channel Rahu, we either look up to Lord Vishnu or we look up to Devi, Durga, Shakti in order to pacify Rahu, in order to calm these energies. Rahu does phenomenally well in the 7th house because it has very high direction and it excels in this direction. Sometimes it is uncontrollable as well. So you have to control your desires, you have to channel your desires, you have to of course expand, but as long as you take control, take stock of your thinking and not let it wander in different directions, because you also have the capacity, you're susceptible to very easily get influenced by other people, to very easily follow other people's habits, follow other people's routine. So create a self-identity when Rahu is making a transit in the 7th house. This is a very clear message. This is the house of your spouse. Of course, it is going to strengthen your relationship, but at the same time, you will feel isolated because Ketu is in your Lagna. Ketu is moving through your 1st house. These are opposite energies. So first hand, you would probably create expansion in business, in agreements, in contract. And of course, relationship matters as well. So be very careful. Be very careful of the kind of people that you come in contact with, and what you learn from others, that will matter a lot because you will have the tendency to apply. So you can follow their mistakes as well. So please do not end up doing that. It could be not so good for you. Ketu is in the Lagna in the sign of Leo. Ketu does very well in the sign of Leo. Second half of the year, particularly from April onwards, Ketu will be in Magha Nakshatra till December. This is the throne. This represents king or king-like success. So you're likely to either invest in real estate or gain from real estate, property matters, land, or you would do some sort of construction in the second half of the year. That could be extremely favorable for you. In case you have a plan, in case you want to time it accordingly, you can very well do that. Your health and vitality will be at its peak. It is going to have a significant improvement post March 2026. If you've been facing any issues, any concerns, you could expect some sort of development. This is a throne, so it will bring ego as well. It could probably put you in a dominant position, but as long as you channel your egos, as long as you keep it aside and stay grounded, because see, towards the end of the day, Ketu is moksha karak. It is desireless. It wants you to increase your spiritual practice, spiritual sadhana. In case you have a dog at your home, you will feel even more connected, or you will have the urge to either help animals or bring a dog at home, and that potentially could be a very good remedy to improve your temperament, to bring in the level of patience in your life, and to help you cope up with any stressful times. If not, then you must work towards dog welfare, donate towards dog rescue and other institutions who work towards the welfare of dogs and stray dogs around the world. This could be absolutely beneficial for you. Continue to look up to Surya, who is your Lagna Lord, to gain the most of these results of Ketu, and also continue to remedy Jupiter and give him the due strength during this time. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in Aquarius and Leo. What is it bringing for us in 2026? This is my unique representation. I am taking these transits simultaneously, trying to understand the signs and the nakshatras they will be moving through and what is that you could expect through the year. Now, Rahu and Ketu activate cycles, bring in big shifts in life, trigger events, and of course help us move to a different path of life. If it is related somehow to the ongoing Dasha and the Dasha, it has an impact on most people. This is focusing on your 6 and 12 axis, where Rahu is in Aquarius, Ketu is in Leo. Now they've gotten a bit more comfortable in these signs by the virtue of spending a few months. They're always backwards, they're always retrograde. So Rahu, by the virtue in 2026, will make you be more futuristic. Ketu will support you, make you more compassionate towards your friends, compassionate towards your network, and at the same time focus more on increasing your income and having certain financial goals. Though Ketu does not have desire, Ketu does not have any sort of financial desires or probably any material desires, but it is still going to do that for you. Some efforts that you will put in 2026, you will feel that those efforts are going wasted. You should not shy away from putting efforts, because if you put efforts, you have a very strong chance to secure a new job, probably something that you've been waiting for, something that you've been wanting to happen since a long time. Rahu promotes efforts in the 6th house. Rahu has got a blessing when it is in the 6th house by the natal placement, or if it is in transit in the 6th house. It has the capacity to overcome all kinds of opposition, all kinds of enemy. Here, Rahu is in a friendly relationship with your ascendant Lord Mercury. So therefore, it will help you encounter opposition, it will help you overcome as victorious. So if you have competitive examination, if you have some travel, if you compete for a job, you have very strong possibility, very strong chances within the first half of the year, because Rahu is moving through Shatabisha Nakshatra. This Nakshatra has the power of 100 lights. So your 6th house is very bright, very energetic. This could cause some health repercussions. You could develop digestive issues, take care of your stomach, take care of your liver, and all the area that is stomach and beneath. You have to take care of it and be very responsible of your consumption. Increase the water intake. Okay, Rahu is a lot of wind, that is probably causing some repercussion in the 6th house. However, you could have a possibility of stepping into a new job, a new line of work, as long as you avoid shortcuts, as long as you stay away from any ill deeds, and of course, this time period, first half of the year, if you have any debts, you can repay those debts as well. Ketu making through a transit in the 12th house. Ketu is moksha karak. Most people say Ketu in 12th house gives moksha. It is not true. Ketu does not give moksha in the 12th house. Please be mindful of the fact there are a number of factors that must be understood. Whether your Navamsha is supportive in terms of ensuring that this is your last birth, it's not Ketu who's the final deciding factor. But Ketu is supportive in the 12th house because it has no desire. 12th house is the house of loss, expenditure. Ketu says, I don't have anything. What do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. This is the kind of feel which Ketu has. So of course, it increases your spiritual practices. It helps you to increase your spiritual sadhana. It helps you to become more giving in nature. So you must donate. Ketu is a natural malefic in the 12th house. It doesn't share a very comfortable relation with your Lagna Lord Mercury. Now, first half of the year till about end of March, it's moving through Purva Phalguni Nakshatra. This is where you can expect positive results of 7th house. Your business, your relationship, family matters. Ketu is also supporting the 4th cycle, home, comforts. First half might not be very essential, or probably the year 2026 might not be very relevant for you or essential for you for any real estate property related decisions, particularly if it is related to selling. You can still buy, but selling is something where you have to be a little bit cautious while doing so. There could be some unnecessary paperwork or delay. You should donate items related to Surya, grains, pickles, spices. These are some things which you could donate. Donate to those people who are either differently abled or have some sort of physical challenge. Work towards the welfare of those people here who are physically not very good and could be in a challenging situation. You must increase your spiritual sadhana, spiritual practice in the year 2026 to help you channel these energies. Second half, Ketu is in Magha Nakshatra. I expect your financial position to develop, to continuously grow. After April 2026, you could expect a rise in your income because your expenditure is going to increase, and when it does, your income must be supportive. And I wish you the very best in 2026. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in 2026, and what is that we can expect? 75% of this transit is still remaining through the year 2026 because they will only change signs towards the end of the year, which is on 5th December 2026. What is it we can expect with regards to this lunar nodes, Chaya Grahas, shadowy planets as we call them? So the houses that they are placed within transit is the cycle that is likely to remain active through the year 2026. I am also going to give you some nakshatra based insights through this video. Now this is putting a greater focus on your 5-11 axis. This is the axis of your future, creativity, positional success, also about friends, your wider social network. This is the axis of your wealth. So it plays a very important role in our lives. Rahu is making a transit in the sign of Aquarius, which falls in your 5th house. Now, first half of the year till 2nd of August, Rahu is making a transit in Shatabisha Nakshatra, which is its own nakshatra. So it is in supreme dignity, it is in great strength. Rahu is a very good politician. And 5th house represents power, it represents authority, and Rahu is very hungry when it comes to future pursuits, when it comes to things related in the future. Mantra based remedies might not work very well for you this year. From a health point of view, you must take care of your stomach because you could have some issues with your stomach, and this is where you have to have greater attention. Rahu can also help you build some political connects or help you become a political person, become a diplomatic person, or someone who could become very street smart when it comes to dealing with things, when it comes to dealing with people. And you could eventually become a people pleaser when it also comes to your communication. However, you have to be mindful of the fact that stay away from indulgence, extravagance of any kinds. 5th house also represents your love. That is unconditional love. It is the house of children. Romantic associations are seen from this house. So you could have a tendency to get involved in some sort of romantic scandals. So be very careful while you are in a relationship. So you could be susceptible to these circumstances. You have to have a futuristic approach. Rahu is not very welcomed in the trinal house. However, it can become a Raj Yoga giver if you have a well-disposed Saturn in your chart, who becomes a Yog Karak or the most favorable planet. In case it's not the case, then you can look up to remedying Mercury. Mercury is the planet that can really help channel the energies of Rahu in trines, and this is something which you must look up to. You will have a higher sense of desire, but at the same time, you must focus a lot on your dharma, your sense of duties, your sense of religion. Ketu is making a transit in the 11th house. Ketu is going to enter Magha Nakshatra end of March 2026, and post that it is a very strong transit that Ketu has in Magha Nakshatra. It is forming a Dhan Yoga in your case. It is wealth giving. Yes, Ketu also has the capacity or command to give wealth, sometimes enormous amount of wealth. It can make someone from rags to riches. Of course, most of the planets are wealth giving. Condition, they must be in favorable Dhan Yogas or wealth giving yogas. So Ketu creates that circumstances. It will not make you very much focused on free will, but you would rely on destiny, you would rely on other people's support, you would probably reach out to your friends. You could have a sense of isolation with some friends or the wider social network. You might have tendency to move away from social media context or settings, and this is something which you have to overcome. This is something that you have to channel. Now, your financial position could see a significant improvement post-April. Before that, Ketu will be making a transit in Venus's nakshatra, which is Purva Falguni. This is where your 6th house will demonstrate some positive results. So you could see some health improvement in the first quarter of the year, but later in the year it does call for certain attention, particularly things that are related to your stomach, your digestive system. Stay away from cold foods, stay away from processed food, continue to increase your spiritual sadhana, and at the same time, when you gain, when you make some gains, when you make some profits, make sure to give some donations as well to those who need. You could donate on Wednesdays, you could donate on Sundays as well. These are the 2 days that could potentially be good for you from a donations point of view, or you can also look at donating on Thursdays, depending on natal placement of the planets and of course the kind of time period which you are running. Be absolutely 100% futuristic in the year 2026. It's an excellent time to plan for your future, and my best wishes for you. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in the year 2026 and how it is going to have an impact on you based on the cycle that continues to be activated, where you have to put more focus, greater focus in life, and how the nodes play a role, wherein that you have to be careful of certain time periods, and of course what you can expect from life events point of view, because they have the capacity to bring significant shifts in life. 25% of the transit is going to get over by the end of this year. 75% is still remaining, because next time when they're going to change signs is in December 2026. There's a time period between March through August where Rahu and Ketu will be moving through their own nakshatras, Shatabisha and Magha, which is going to be extremely powerful time period for the nodes to deliver good results. Rahu makes a transit in your 4th house, Ketu makes a transit in your 10th house. So your 4-10 axis is pretty much active all throughout the time. This axis represents your sense of balance between home-bound duties, your home, family, that's your 4th house, your safe space. It represents your possession. It represents your assets, your real estate, and of course your mother as well. So when Rahu is making a transit here, your mother's health definitely needs to have certain amount of attention. You have to take care of certain things and ensure that you're closely connected with your mother. Particularly if you're running through a favorable dasha, antardasha, it could mitigate certain effects. Ketu is moving through your 10th house, which is the Rajya Bhava, the house of work. Positional success is seen from Ketu's placement in the 10th house, because Ketu gains a directional strength in the 10th house. It is very positive. It is a fiery planet. Though it does not have desire, but this is moksha karak. It will make you very diligent. Ketu gives very good research capabilities. It gives very good focus when it comes to work, because you try to work independently. You try to isolate yourself from a number of things and disturbances that are happening around yourself, and it increases your focus. And such people have a great capacity to become consultants. They're good teachers as well. So let's understand Ketu in the 10th house while making a transit, which will make you diligent with regards to work related matters. Now till end of March, Ketu is moving through Purva Falguni Nakshatra. You are going to expect good results related to 5th house. Positional success can be seen in 2026. There could be some issues with power, with authority, with people who hold an influence till end of March 2026. So you have to be a little bit careful. Stay away from politics situation at workplace. Keep yourself away. Stay very diligent and focused about your own tasks and duties. April onwards, Ketu will be in Magha Nakshatra, which is the throne, the seat of the king. And of course, this house represents power, authority. Ketu is also your co-lagna lord. So in case you're running through favorable dasha antardasha, this time period after April can bring a breakthrough opportunity, some very massive opportunity in your life, in case your time period is supportive. And this is where it will put you in an authoritative position. Make sure that you keep your ego aside, make sure that you stay grounded all the time, and increase your spiritual sadhana if you were to have most of the positive effects. Rahu on the other side is moving through your 4th house in Aquarius. You have to take care of your heart chakra. You have to take care of your diet. You have to take care of your lifestyle. You have to take care of your habits and focus more on family life. See, Rahu is activating the 8th cycle, which is life and death, transformation, overcoming your adversities. Ketu is activating the 4th cycle, which is home, comfort. So when Ketu is strong, you will be more homely. You will be more focused towards comforts and dealing with your assets. When Rahu is stronger in the first half, this is the time for transformation, overcoming your adversities, particularly till early August, because Rahu is moving through Shatabisha Nakshatra. It could push you out of your comfort zone. You have to try out new things, you have to engage yourself in new assignments, new projects, put yourself in that uncomfortable position for you to grow and succeed in these settings, in these contexts. Towards the end of the day, their demand is that you need to strike a balance between your home and your family life. Continue to remedy Surya and also remedy your fifth lord Jupiter in order to make the most of this transit, in order to make the most of this year from a work point of view. Your health is gradually going to improve in the second half of the year, but till end of March you have to be a little bit careful with regards to these matters, and mostly till early August as well. Rahu and Ketu will keep you busy with work, but at the same time your attention is equally demanded at home and in family affairs as well. Otherwise, this could become detrimental towards some relationship matters, and these matters will be slightly sensitive in nature. I wish you the very best in the year 2026. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in 2026, what is it bringing for you based on your rising or the moon sign? And at the same time, what are certain events you can expect from a cyclical point of view? What is that is getting activated? How the year analysis is for you just with regards to the nodes transit, and this is a unique representation that I am bringing for you. Now you have to make a note that between March through August is a very important time because the nodes will be in supreme dignity. Rahu will be moving through Shatabisha Nakshatra in a very strong position in Aquarius. Ketu will be moving through Magha Nakshatra in your 9th house in Leo, and Ketu does very well in Leo because it's a fiery graha, it's a fire sign, it's a very pure sign. Ketu is Moksha Karak, and your future spiritual pursuits are going to increase, are going to elevate in 2026. But this is an important time period because Rahu and Ketu are focusing on your 3-9 axis. This axis represents journey, start of new work, change of any kind. It could be movement of places, either you move houses, you move countries, or you bring a shift. You start a new job, you start a new opportunity, you step into something new. Between April through August is an important time because they will be in great dignity and you could start new ventures, new assignment, or step into new change. Bhagya will be supportive at this point in time based on Ketu's placement in transit in your 9th house. It wants you to stick to your dharma because Ketu is Moksha Karak. It wants you to give you that spiritual knowledge. Higher education could have some obstruction this year. There could be a delayed phase because of unnecessary paperwork, because of lack of support with regards to government related matters. So this is where you have to be a little bit cautious. But second half of the year, you will see great progress when it comes to educational pursuits. You will see great development when it comes to your dharmic pursuits, your overall thinking, and the support of your bhagya as well. Journeys will be more fruitful August onwards. Before that, you could be in a position to go on some unnecessary or irrelevant journeys. But something that you have to do in 2026 is go on a spiritual journey to elevate the power of Ketu, to ensure that you have more clarity and more depth in your mind. Otherwise, you will be in a confused state. Otherwise, you will be surrounded by illusion because this house is important where we get the right guidance. It is the house of your teacher, your guru, your father, your value system, in your lineage. And how do you strengthen that? You go back to your roots. Go to those places where you are maybe connected to your childhood, revisit those places, revisit those memories in the year 2026 to really help you sustain through these energies. Rahu in the 3rd house does very well. For Ketu, you have to remedy Jupiter. You have to continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord for you to move in the right direction. Rahu does well in the 3rd house. It is in Upachaya Bhava. Rahu loves growth. Rahu loves to work in environment where there is a high amount of desire. He himself has a lot of desires. And this is the house of desire. This is the house of Upachaya. Change is seen from this house. Shift is seen from this house. Journeys and your younger co-borns are also seen from this house. There could be some difference, some conflict with your younger siblings, with your co-borns. So this is where you have to be a little bit mindful. As long as you keep your ego aside, as long as you're mindful and respectful to them, you could sail through this transit. But yes, this will in the first half bring some unnecessary, irrelevant journeys. Rahu is very strong in Shatabisha Nakshatra. It has a lot of light, a lot of power. So one thing is there, that the efforts that you put, you will get results. You will get to see the results. Change will not come easy to you, but if you embrace change, it could eventually be positive. So you could move your residence, you could move countries, or you could start a new assignment in the year 2026. That could very well happen before August. It's a much favorable window for you. Rahu has the power, capacity, lot of valor as well, because he's a risk taker. So this year is an year of risks for you. Do not shy away from taking bold, bigger decisions. Yes, you could be in the state of illusion, confusion. Be independent, be of independent mindset, because if you come across the influence of a number of people, the more advice you take advice of maybe one or two people, your trusted advisor, someone who you count on. But if you take advice of a lot of people, you could reach towards a state of confusion, increase your risk-taking appetite. This time period could be favorable for you to begin entrepreneurial journey, solopreneurship, and of course your own line of work, something that is more independent in nature. And second half of the year is very important for you on going on fruitful journeys, fruitful travel. Continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord Jupiter in order to make the most of these energies, and my best wishes for you. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit and its effects in the year 2026, my unique representation. What is that you can expect through the year by the virtue of the axis where they are present? What do they mean for us? What do they represent? And of course, their key nakshatra based transits as well. It's a holistic view that I'm giving you in the most simplified yet elaborative manner. Rahu and Ketu are moving through your 2-8 axis. Now 2-8 axis is a tricky axis because these two houses are very opposite in nature. Second house represents your family, your accumulation, your wealth, because that's something which you accumulate, your savings, your storage, those people who you like to protect, those people who you care for, and it represents your speech, your eating habits. So Rahu can really make you get involved in indulgence. So you have to be very careful with regards to the food that you consume, what you eat, a balanced lifestyle. And this axis itself demands a balanced lifestyle. Those who have natal Rahu Ketu in the 2-8 axis, they should be very mindful of the kind of lifestyle they live in. Otherwise, they could have continuous, constant health related issues. Sometimes these issues can go undiagnosed as well, or probably you might not be able to find the root cause of the problem. So root cause is very important here. And as long as you're diligent, disciplined with regards to your diet, with regards to your health and vitality, if you have not learned the easy way, you might learn the hard way. So be very careful here. Also, Rahu can bring confusion in your speech, what you're trying to convey, your message. You may lack clarity. Bring some logic here. Strengthen your Mercury, which will also support Bhagya, fortune, and also bring in some intelligent logic in your conversation. Though Rahu will create expansive tendencies when it comes to financial matters, especially the first half is absolutely positive for you till August for financial growth, for financial prosperity, for yourself and also for your partner. It's a good year, especially the first half. Ketu on the other side is moving through the 8th house, which is a very weak house. It's a very dark house. This represents hidden spaces, your secret, deep desires. It is the Ayush Bhav. Ketu is non-materialistic. Ketu is in constant pain. And this house is also the house of pain and suffering. So Ketu gives mixed results here, but it gives you very good intuitive capabilities. This year you must learn Jyotish. You must learn occult sciences. You must learn those subjects where you can build your intuition. And you will have some very unique experiences in 2026. So be prepared for these experiences. This could be related to your travel. This year will take you to places and have some of the very differentiated or unique or never heard experiences. You have to be careful as well, especially while traveling, while driving. Take care of yourself because it could be a sensitive time period for you which could bring in sudden events. So be prepared with the virtue of suddenness, because Rahu and Ketu bring suddenness in life. They cause eclipses. Eclipses are sudden events. Suddenly it gets dark. Suddenly there's light again. And this is something which you have to cope up with over the course of next few months. First half till end of March, Ketu is moving through Purva Falguni Nakshatra. So during this time, any efforts that you will put, you will get very good results. Your efforts will not be wasted. You will get good results of the third house. After that, when Ketu moves through Magha Nakshatra, now this is where you could expect breakthrough results when it comes to any inheritance matters, when it comes to family related matters. This is also the time, 2nd August onwards, when Rahu will be in Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is ruled by Mangal. You will have a greater sense of confidence in the second half of the year, because this is where you will get phenomenal results of your Lagna. You will be more confident, you will have vitality, you will be more focused about your health, your well-being. So I do expect very progressive time August onwards, because your ascendant is getting the due strength at this time, while Ketu would probably support you to overcome adversities, put some efforts, don't think that your efforts are getting wasted, and continue to transform, continue to focus on research and build your intuitive capabilities. Other people can come to you to take your advice. You can become a very good advisor in the year 2026. Continue to strengthen Mercury and also do some remedies related to your Lagna Lord Saturn, and my best wishes for you. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in 2026 and how this is going to have an impact on you. 75% of their transit is still remaining. So we have a long way to go, because it is only towards the end of 2026 that the nodes are going to change signs. Rahu is the north node of the moon. Ketu is the south node of the moon. These are shadowy planets. These are mathematical points. And of course, they trigger life events and bring big shifts in our life. Now, to understand what the year 2026 brings for you with regards to specifically, if we talk about Rahu and Ketu's transit, how this energy works. This is happening within your 1-7 axis, all right? So this axis plays a very important role, where Rahu is making a transit in Aquarius in your ascendant, in your Lagna, and Ketu is making a transit in your 7th house, in the Jaya Bhava. There is a very powerful time between April through August when they will be transitioning through their own nakshatras. Rahu will be in Shatabisha, Ketu will be in Magha. So they're going to be in supreme dignity at that point in time. So Rahu in the ascendant in your Lagna, and till 2nd of August, it is placed in its own nakshatra of Shatabisha. So it is going to bring in a renewed sense of confidence in your life. It is going to bring in some expansive tendencies. See, this nakshatra has the power of hundreds of lights. So it's got a lot of energy, healing capacity. So it's an excellent time for you to heal yourself and let go of any past baggages, any past trauma is something which you will be able to overcome. Rahu is not very strong in the Lagna because he gains directional strength in the 7th house. In the 1st house, he is losing direction. But when Rahu loses direction, it doesn't give you strong negative results as well. So it is somewhat under control. And first half of the month, first half of the year, it will also be under the aspect of Jupiter. So very much in control, in sync. It will give you expansive tendencies with regards to your personality, with regards to who you are, how you look after yourself, how you take care of yourself, and of course it is going to make you a little bit selfish as well. It is fine, it is okay to be a little self-centered. Alright, second half it will move through Dhanishta Nakshatra, Mangal Nakshatra. So second half of 2026 you will see your expenditure to increase, but you will become very philanthropic in nature. You will try to help others because your 12th house results will be extremely positive. It's very good for you to increase your self-awareness. Ketu on the other side is making a transit in your 7th house. So Ketu creates isolation, it creates cut. It is not very welcomed in the 7th house because 7th house is the house of all those people who are opposite to you. It is Jaya Bhava. We see peace, war, we see relations. This is the house of desire. This is also the house of following. And Ketu doesn't like to follow anyone because it has got no vision, it has got no direction. But this time period, you could heal from a relationship. So relationship will have a greater amount of spiritual factor, greater amount of spiritual quotient, especially after April 2026, because this is when Ketu is in Magha Nakshatra. So second half of 2026 is very promising for business growth, expansion, because Ketu is sitting on the throne, and at the same time your work is going to have significant progress after April. Before that, you can expect certain challenges. You can expect a certain sense of karma when it comes to your relationship, certain heaviness, your tendency to stepping away from the situation. Also some minor health issues that probably you could experience. But after April, it's quite a significant time period for you, which will ensure that your relationship is strengthened through some spiritual practices, through some natural practices, and of course, by the virtue of you connecting with the nature. So go out with your partner and of course travel, spend some time, and this is where you will be able to strengthen these energies. When the 1-7 axis is active, by the virtue of the nodes, it could create a situation of confusion, a situation of illusion. You might lack confidence. Your confidence will be at its peak between April through August is the time wherein your self-confidence and of course your business decisions, all of that will be at its peak, which is an opportunity window for you where you can maximize to the great extent that you can. Continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord Shani in all possible manners. First half, you also have very good protection. When Ketu will move through Magha Nakshatra, you can expect very good results with regards to your work related matters, with regards to your career and the direction where you are heading. And first quarter of the year, you can also expect some financial gains. May you have a wonderful 2026 ahead. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. Rahu and Ketu's transit in 2026, and what is this bringing for us? What to expect? How do you need to read this? And the 75% of transit that is still remaining, because they're going to stay in these signs, Aquarius and Leo, till the end of 2026. What is it bringing for us from an activation point of view, cyclic energies, and the big shifts of life? This is happening within your 12 and 6 axis, where Rahu makes a transit in the 12th house, Ketu makes a transit in the 6th house. So when 12-6 axis is involved, there's a greater focus of shift in terms of your expenditure, in terms of your self-awareness, your higher self-consciousness, because this is the house where Rahu is making a transit. Foreign journeys, foreign visits, foreign lands, and of course how you connect well with people from other cultures, and at the same time continue to focus a lot on your daily life, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your daily routine, and not deviating from the path of righteousness. Let's talk about Ketu first. Ketu is moving through the 6th house in the sign of Leo. It is a strong position. Ketu is fiery planet, Leo is a fiery sign. From a remedial point of view, you must continue to ensure that you hydrate yourself to the great extent that you can. Post April 2026, when Ketu moves through Magha Nakshatra, you could step into a new job, bigger role, or a greater responsibility. This responsibility can bring significant shift in your day-to-day life. You will be in authoritative position, which can result into ego. You could have some ego clashes with other people, but at the same time, you will be able to overcome opposition of any kind, because Ketu shares a very respectful relationship with your Lagna Lord Jupiter. Ketu likes to listen to Jupiter, though Ketu does not have direction. But you will be able to overcome opposition of any kind, any competitive examination, or any competition related activities. You're going to excel. Magha Nakshatra, you're stepping into a new job. Before that, from January through March, Ketu is in Purva Falguni. This is where you will expect very positive results with regards to your ascendant. So your self-confidence is likely to increase in the year 2026. You have great protection, particularly in the first half, renewed sense of energies. You'll be very adaptable. Rahu's transit in the 12th house, you have to be careful, you have to be cautious of not getting involved in any kind of indulgence, in any kind of extravagance, in any kind of bad habits. You have to continue to keep your lifestyle at check. You can have sleep related issues, and that is something which you have to watch out for. The more you give, the donations that you make donations of black things, black chickpeas, black pulses, sesame oil, mustard oil. These are some things which you should probably think of donating. Light a sesame oil lamp in your daily prayers, in your daily practice, in your daily sadhana to increase your spiritual quotient. Rahu will make and bring new connections with people from other countries, from foreign lands, and also increase visit, your chances to move abroad, your chances to settle outside of your home country significantly increases in the year 2026. The first half, Rahu is in a strong position. It is in Shatabisha Nakshatra, but you have to watch your expenditure, and that is something which is likely to increase. As long as you're not being impulsive about it, as long as you expense on the right deeds, the right things, on your dharma, on yourself, on your family, it is good. I would encourage you to start with a budget exercise for the year 2026. Do a monthly progress, monthly check-in, and you should be in a pretty good position. Post August, Rahu is going to be in Dhanishta Nakshatra. This is where you will expect good results with regards to the 11th house. So the second half of 2026 is extremely favorable for job, your position in job, your financial matters, your health and well-being. First half, you have to pay careful attention to your lifestyle, to your expenditure, and your health as well as vitality. Continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord Jupiter. You do have a great sense of protection in the second half of the year because Jupiter will be aspecting your ascendant. First half of the year, Jupiter will be aspecting Rahu. As long as you keep your behavior, your ego, your lifestyle at check, you will have a progressive time period ahead. Otherwise, this could become a little bit concerning for yourself. Spend time in planning, continue to strengthen Jupiter, and look out for an exciting second half of 2026, and my best wishes for you. So friends, this was my unique overview of Rahu and Ketu and what they are bringing for us in the year 2026 based on all 12 ascendant or the moon signs. I hope and believe Rahu and Ketu's transit help us become more self-aware and also more helpful towards others. This time period definitely should help us realize our true potential and work towards meaningful goals and a purpose-driven life. Stay tuned for more interesting videos on my channel with regards to 2026 and beyond. Thank you very much. God bless you all.